best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Just thought I would lighten up Tuesday with the old intro. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Hope everyone had a snow-free Monday because we didn't hear in most of the Northeast. A couple things before we get into the video. I'm going to pop up an email address. It's giantstalk@onlineBigBlue.com. If you want, shoot me an email. You don't have to type anything in the email. And what I will do is I will put you on the blast list. So when we have something like a stream or something coming up, I will send out an email letting people know the time and letting the time, the date, and everything ahead of time, and any other news that we have coming up. So again, you could just send it to giantstalk@onlineBigBlue.com. You don't even have to write anything in the email. Just send us an email. I will put you on the email list. And like I said, when a special event comes up or if we're doing a live stream, you will get an email a couple days before the live stream and then like a day and the day of the live stream. So I know some people missed the last one. They were kind of, some people were a little upset that I didn't put it out there soon enough, and I apologize for that. So hopefully this will clear that up. Also, let's get it. Nothing else. Let's just get into the New York Football Giants. So the NFL salary cap, of course, looks like the floor is going to be $180 million. Now, they're saying that it's probably going to be a little over that. It could be anywhere between 182, 181, but it's not going to exceed or get up to the $185 million limit. What does that mean for the Giants? Not much. It's only a couple $1 million here and there between 180 and 185. Yeah, it's probably a player or two more towards the end of the roster. But the Giants have their work cut out from them in reference to clearing some salaries and possibly restructuring some contracts and some things such as that. So they can make some moves that they need to and sign some players that they're going to have to. But I wanted to get into the Giants offense for a second. Two things. How historically bad was the Giants offense last year? And we're really gonna dive into that for a second. But I want to talk to something about speed, because I had someone send me a message about speed and how Daniel Jones is one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league. And I tried to explain to this person that, yes, Daniel Jones has speed, but he has what they refer to as straight line speed. He is not a guy that has the pocket fluidity that allows him to move around and burst out of the pocket like Kyler Murray and old, RG3 during his rookie season, or Lamar Jackson. Daniel Jones has to be going straight and has to be going forward and has to be building up his speed that way. And there's two types of speed in the NFL. There is football speed, and there's just pure speed. Jerry Rice fell down to the 49ers because of the fact that scouts said that he did not pass the litmus test due to, for the speed test. But then it turned out Jerry Rice had football speed. And football speed is how you play once you get on the field. And that's what he had. The Raiders of old, especially the Al Davis Raiders, used to draft speed all the time. But speed does not always translate into being a wonderful player or a good player. You want to look at some of the fastest players ever in the history of the league? You have Willie Gault, Ronaldo Nehemiah. Two wide receivers. Why Gault had a better career than Nehemiah. They were pure speed guys that if they couldn't get behind the defense, it didn't do them any good. So they had pure speed, but they did not have football speed. Now, of course, people are saying, well, Darrell Green is faster. Yeah, Darrell Green had it both. He had football speed, and he had speed. So when you talk about Daniel Jones' speed, you need to talk about the fact that he needs to have a designed run for him to generate the momentum that he needs to go forward to gain that top speed. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not bashing Daniel Jones. That's just the way it is. And that's the type of speed he has. So, but we're not going to get into that. How historically bad was the Giants' offense? I have seen some bad offenses in my time, going back to Billy 2-Yard Taylor, Jeff Rutledge, Joe Pisarcik, Larry Zonka. Not the Larry Zonka of the Miami days, Larry Zonka of the Giant days after he came over from, the WFL. I mean, there were some bad offenses, but this Giant offense was pretty bad as well. They ranked 31 in points scored at 17.1 and yards per game at 297.2. They were 30th in yards per play at 4.89. That's pretty bad. They were tied with the Jets for last in the league in touchdowns per game at 1.6. They were also 31st in the league in red zone percentages at 45%. The Giants were they were 31st in the league for sacks per attempt, giving up a sack every 9.76% of the passing plays. Giants also gave up 48 sacks, which to me wasn't really as, if you think about it, the Eagles gave up 62. So the Giants, they were kind of in the middle of the pack about in reference to giving up sacks. They scored just 10 touchdown passes, of course, 31st in the league, which is 0.07 touchdowns per game, passing per game. They were 28th in the league in third down efficiency, and also 28th in time of possession at 28.47. So they were 27th in the league in reference to explosive plays, which was only 8% of the time. Only 7 other teams had fewer than 5 40-yard passes the Giants completed that season last year. So I mean, they were bad. I mean, it's no doubt about it. They have their work cut out for them. Now, of course, Barkley's injury, was something that really haunted the Giants. They did have 11 running plays of at least 20 yards. 60 of them came from Gallman, and 80 of them came from Daniel Jones when he face planted in the turf. Ball security with Daniel Jones, was better, but still he committed way too many turnovers, especially for a kid. 37 turnovers I think it was so far, and he's like 1.4 turnovers a game still. But he's cleaning up his acts. He didn't throw an interception in 5 games. He did fumble 3 times in those 5 games and losing 1. But it was just one of those things that, he's cleaning up his ball security, which is awesome. But in a lot of ways with him cleaning up his ball security, they are not allowing him to look downfield to make the big plays. Now, the offensive line play was at times just, oh my God, was just bad. I mean, it was like, remember with the kid, or I don't remember when I was a kid. In my day, Bazooka Joe bubble gum only cost $4. It's like, and that's why, to me, the offensive line was like slime. When you were a kid, you got out of that jar. You open up the slime, you put your hand in the jar, and then you squeeze, and the slime just came out of your fingers because it just oozed out from every orifice. And that's what the Giants line was at time. I mean, Andrew Thomas showed improvement, but oh my God, he was beat sometimes like he stole something. I mean, it's just one of those things. And Shane Lemieux, while he may be a promising player right now, one of his major weaknesses was pass blocking. And that's something that, we really need to look into. And Nick Gates, he may come to become an excellent center. We may switch him over to guard. I don't know, but it was his first year, and he had his ups and downs. I've never seen so many holding plays on a center. Cam Fleming, just leave Cam alone. And Matt from Connecticut, we don't know what his status is going to be and how he's going to progress in year 2 yet. Will Hernandez was just hard at times, but then he also played better, every once in a while. But if we break also into the receivers just weren't there. Yes, Evan Ingram was a Pro Bowler. How the hell that happened, I don't know. It was just one of those. It was just one of those things. The wideouts. Oh my God, the wideouts were just terrible. You could talk about the lack of separation, but I'm more concerned about the yards after the catch. And I always love it because people will say, well, the yards of separation, Sterling Shepard only had 3.1 yards of separation. If you're 3 yards away from someone, you should probably be able to hit them. I'm just saying. But what happened to me, and like I said, it's not the separation to me that's the issue, because there's also plenty of times Daniel Jones missed wide open guys. It was the yards after the catch per reception. Ingram was only 4.8 at 52. Slayton, which was surprising, was 3.3 for 108th in the league. Shepard was 3.2 for 113th, and Tate was 2.4 at 123rd. Now that's kind of distressing. That's just telling me they're catching the ball, but they're not doing anything after they catch the ball. Now, a lot of people are going to throw the blame at Daniel Jones, Jason Garrett, and said, well, it was his offense that screwed the Giants. And I always laugh because I said the same thing. You can't say the same thing about Daniel Jones without saying the same thing about Jason Garrett. You can't sit there and say Daniel Jones needs more weapons. Daniel Jones needs a better offensive line. Daniel Jones needs playmakers. Well, we've said this a million times. That has to progress over to Jason Garrett as well. Because if he doesn't have those things, he can't call the plays that make things happen. Now, one thing I will say is, can this be fixed in one season? In one offseason? And I'm going to say no. Because we are potentially going to have 2 to 3 spots open on the offensive line. Andrew Thomas, for how he played better, is still going to be a question mark. The wide receivers, Golden Tate's gone. You got Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. You don't know what you're going to get from Evan Ingram, the tight end position. And you hope that Saquon Barkley comes back. Now, I have never had any concerns this offseason about the defense. The offense is what I'm mainly concerned about, and I hope they can go out and find some playmakers for Daniel Jones. I think it's possible, but you may have to go to what I like to refer to, and I called it this a couple of years back, is the Dave Gettleman scratch and dent department. We may have to go find some players that may not be big name players, but maybe guys that can help turn the organization around in reference to receiving options. Because, like I said, you're going to see some of the big-name wide receivers just not come to the Giants because of the fact that they're not going to want to. I've never read something where the guys, receivers saying, well, I want to play with Daniel Jones. And that's not a slight to Daniel Jones. It's just he's not at that level yet. So you may not get that large amount of talent that you're looking for in reference to a receiver. But like I said, if you go to more of a mid-level receiver, I know Giant fans don't want to hear that, but if we could fill out the receiving corps with professional receivers that are more mid-level with upside potential, and then go out and draft some guys, maybe a running back, definitely a wide receiver if we can in the second round, and maybe try to pick up an offensive lineman either in the draft or free agency, I think we can turn things around. But the whole progression of this team is going to rely 100% on Daniel Jones. Good, bad, or indifferent. You love him, you hate him, you don't care about him. It doesn't matter. This is all going to rely on the hands of Daniel Jones, or on the arm of Daniel Jones. He doesn't progress, the season's going to be lost, and we're going to be screwed, and we're going to be at least 2 years away. But I think there will be hope if Gettleman can pull it. If Gettleman can pull a 2020 free agency class, but on the offensive side of the ball, like he did on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to be okay. Now, remember, again, like I said, if you want to just shoot us an email at giantstalk@onlineBigBlue.com, we'll be able to, like I said, get you on the mailing list. And as soon as we do an event or something, we will send you out an email. But again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could maybe subscribe. If you could ring that bell, that would be awesome.